As promised, we're bringing you live updates from ANN7 TV right there. That is happening, what is happening actually in court with the Cyril Ramaphosa case. We're going live on court right now.
That the respondents intend to publish a series of articles concerning and of himself. He has provided no details to this court as to why he has taken the time he has in order to bring this application at this late hour, save for stating that he had, and I received this information from the bar, he had received an undertaking from the proprietor of the first respondent that no such publication would take place this Sunday, that is tomorrow. No further details about that communication is given to this court, and a purported affidavit is placed before this court in which such an undertaking was supposed to have been given. I have far too little information before me to come to the assistance of the applicant on the question that he has no other remedy save for coming to this court at this late hour and asking this court to furnish him with the relief that he seeks. I need to point out that the relief he seeks is far-reaching, and there is very little in this affidavit that placed before this court that supports such far-reaching relief that he should be granted at this stage. I'm also not satisfied that he has placed sufficient information before this court to warrant this court granting him relief on an urgent basis. He has not met the requirements set out in Rule 6.5G that the matter is so urgent that non-compliance with the rules should be condoned on the terms that he has asked for. He has placed insufficient information for this court to assist him in this regard. Accordingly, I have come to the conclusion that the matter is not urgent and that the matter should be struck for want of urgency. As far as costs are concerned, it is claimed by the respondents that given the circumstances under which this matter has been brought, they were required to brief two counsel to deal with the matter, as it would not be possible for one counsel to deal with all the complications, factual in particular, to deal with all the factual complications regarding the application and the circumstances under which it was brought by one counsel alone. Accordingly, they've asked for the cost of two counsel. I'm satisfied that there was, and the applicant himself has come to court with two counsel. I'm satisfied that in the circumstances of this matter, there is justification for the usage of the services of two counsel, and accordingly I make the following order. The application is dismissed, the application is struck for want of urgency. The applicant is to pay the costs, which costs are to include those occasioned by the employment of two counsel. That's the order of this court. Court is adjourned.
Well, we were tuned in live there at the court proceedings where the judge has actually rejected the plea, Cyril Ramaphosa's plea. And the applicant is actually rejected by the judge, and Ramaphosa loses the case. The judge was rather not satisfied, and he had said that he has not, Cyril Ramaphosa has not met the requirements of an urgent application. So the judge actually rejected the case, and the urgent interdict applicant was rather rejected. So we can break the news right here on ANN7. We are breaking that the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, has actually lost the case. So the story on Ramaphosa can actually be published. We are breaking the news right here on ANN7 TV, first, fast and live. Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has lost the case, and the story on Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa can actually be published. This is Victory for Sunday Independence, and the journalist Motale. Scanner, we actually at the court case right now where Cyril Ramaphosa was actually trying to stop the publication of the Sunday Independent newspaper tomorrow. And now the breaking news right here is that our Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has lost the case and the publication can go on. The story on Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa can be published, and this is actually a major blow for the Deputy President. The application is actually struck off for lack of urgency. The application is actually rejected by the court, and the publication can actually go on where the Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has actually lost the case. Earlier on, the judge has said that for too long, little information was actually given to him, and the deputy president can actually not stop this interdict. And he had said that he met the requirement. He has not met the requirement, rather, to stop the interdict. And right now, the judge has ruled that the application has actually been lost. So Deputy Cyril Ramaphosa has actually lost the case, and Sunday Independent newspaper can actually go ahead with the publication. This is breaking news right here from us on ANN7 TV channel 405, First, Fast and Live, bringing you live proceedings from the Gauteng High Court, where Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has lost the case against the Sunday Independent newspaper by Steve Mutale. We actually do have breaking news right here on ANN7, where the judge had earlier said that he is not satisfied and that Cyril Ramaphosa has not met the requirements of an urgent application. So right now we are actually live right there at the Gauteng High Court, where the judge has ruled that Deputy Cyril Ramaphosa, Deputy President, has actually lost the case against the Sunday Independent newspaper. We have on the phone line Cecilia Russell, joining us. Cecilia, welcome to ANN7. Can you tell us what is this victory? You know, what does this actually unfold for Deputy President and, of course, the Sunday Independent?
Well, it would seem that the judge was unimpressed by the fact that Ramaphosa took such a long time to bring an urgent interdict to the court. He has not ruled on any of the main questions or things that Ramaphosa would have asked for, which was around, questions around his privacy being invaded, but rather around whether he said that he waited too long, he didn't bring enough evidence with him, he came with an unsigned interdict. The Sunday Independent argued that Ramaphosa had time to produce two statements, but never took the time to respond to the questions that they sent to him on Friday, which were largely and widely publicized on social media.
But Cecilia, now going back to this story, you know, the Deputy President had actually stated that this is actually a violation of privacy against the woman. What do you have to say about this? Cyril Ramaphosa is actually a public figure and he is the leader of the nation. But for his response, you know, especially talking about the violation of privacy against the women and himself, what does it tell us about his response?
Yes, obviously, as a public figure, we feel less inclined to believe that they have a private side to them. He's a highly public figure. You know, he's a deputy president, etc., etc. He maintains in his statement, which I read earlier today, that in fact, you know, these women that are named and in the questions, I don't know whether they'll be named in the newspaper tomorrow. That would be another matter. But were in fact a woman that he and his wife were supporting, and there was nothing inappropriate about the relationship. Mr. Mutali, from what I can gather inside the court, has said that he has some evidence that at least one of the women on that list have confirmed that the relationship was inappropriate. This is the deputy president of the country of South Africa. He's also, an ANC deputy president, and he is running a very highly publicized campaign to become the next president. This comes in this whole political milieu where he's, fighting for his political life. He's seen as one of the front runners at the moment, and it needs to be seen also in terms of this whole kind of political, a whole kind of ANC campaign. However, nevertheless, everybody has a right to privacy, and should have a right to privacy. And he maintains these emails were stolen from him.
Private.
And that is also problematic because there may be illegalities involved. We've just come through a whole other the whole thing about the Gupta leaked emails or stolen emails. All of these questions around privacy, around public interest, all of these things are wrapped up in the story.
Oh, Cecilia, can you kindly stay with us right there on the line? On the other phone, we also have Mr. Kebi Mapatso. Mr. Kebi, welcome to ANN7. What can you tell us? What does this mean for the deputy president? Will this work against him, especially for his campaign?
Look, the deputy president has been leading the moral regeneration program and also the HIV and AIDS program. So I think it will work against him in that way because people will then begin to say, how can a leader speak about moral regeneration and speak about the HIV and AIDS, and when you have extramarital affairs? So it will make people to lose confidence in his leadership. But with the ANC, I don't think members of the ANC will really buy into the story because they will say it is a campaign. But for him, if it is true, he should have allowed the processes, just like the Gupta emails were allowed to be published and no one interdicted them, and they've been used in the media for a long time to attack the Guptas. So everyone, I think, if there are such allegations, and if you know that you've got nothing to hide, allow them to be published, and those who have hacked them, they'll have to answer how did they get hold of those emails.
Coming out confirmed by one of the journalists that whilst he's in China, Iqbal, he did not do so. But they came in court because they have no case. The important thing also is to remember is that this week shows that it has been a bad week for white monopoly capital. Cyril Ramaphosa is their main political representatives, and he's been stripped naked. He's been shown to be a man who has multiple relationships with women, and he's keeping these secrets. And on the other hand, he goes into public and start attacking people who have multiple relationships. He speaks very badly about them, calling them sugar daddies, when we know some of these women now are actually even students. What we as BLF have said to Ramaphosa is that he is not fit to be president of the country. He is dishonest, he's a liar, and it shows that what happened in Marikana again comes out. He doesn't take responsibility. He wanted to hide behind the courts. In Marikana, he tried to hide behind the commission, and he has not yet accounted. On our part as Black First Land First, we want to say to Ramaphosa, firstly, do not try to pursue your interests as president of the country. You are not fit to be president of the country. We can't afford to have a president who is irresponsible, who is dishonest, who is a liar. Already the children of Marikana, those children of these parents died, do not have fathers. We can't afford to have a president in waiting or coming in who certainly wants to leave women without children without fathers, because he's denying these relationships. If Ramaphosa was a real black person, we believe that he's forgotten his identity, because he is deep in the pockets of white monopoly capital. He thinks he is white. If he was, he would have taken from the president of the country a Master Zuma, who is an open, honest, polygamous man. The African culture allows for that. You do not deny. You do not do things in secret. You do not go around denouncing things that you do. BLF has come out and said that Ramaphosa must apologize firstly to the nation. He must stop this attempt to be president of the country. We don't need a dishonest man to be president of the country, who is also have another big question mark around him, around the murder of people in Marikana. But we also say he can correct his ways. He must just pay lobola. He must also, where applicable, pay damages. That's what African people do. We do not do things in secret. It is not a sin, it's not a scandal. It is him who is a scandal. And it's him who is outrageous by trying to hide these relationships, and now to put a poor woman in this position where they need to justify themselves. I don't want to think about his wife under these circumstances. We hope that he can, for the first time, try to be honest and apologize to all of us, the nation, to his family, to the women who are implicated. And on the other hand, we are shocked that Ramaphosa, who claims to be for freedom of expression, for media freedom, and all of them, including white monopoly capital media, have been running what they call Gupta leaks. Today here, he wants to raise the issue of privacy. Where is the privacy when the so-called Gupta leaks emails are being published by everyone, and in fact, without any authenticity? His emails are authentic. His emails tell the truth. He himself has not said they are not authentic. But he still wants to claim privacy when they are not being consistent. When the Guptas are involved, or those who are against white monopoly capital are involved, no one, at least in the white-owned media, respects their privacy. No one respects their right. Now we know today that there are double standards in this country. Ramaphosa wasted our time, wasted the court's time, and we are happy also that court has said that he must pay those costs of true counsel. And we want to argue that that money must not come from the state. Ramaphosa must pay himself. It is Ramaphosa's private emails. It is Ramaphosa's misdemeanor. It is Ramaphosa's secret affairs. And Ramaphosa must pay. But the biggest prize is that Ramaphosa must decide to step down in his race to become president of the country. We don't want a dishonest man to be president. Okay. Thank you. Andile,
what is your take on the fact that Ramaphosa says this is a smear campaign lead up to the ANC conference in December?
Well, Ramaphosa says this is a smear campaign. A smear campaign is something which is not true. It is something which is concocted by your enemies. Ramaphosa did not come to court and say these emails are not true. Ramaphosa is not saying there's a distortion of the truth. Ramaphosa is not even said these are fake emails or fake news, as is the case with the fake emails that they have been running with regard to the so-called Gupta leaks. He's not disputing anything. He's not denied anything. And in fact, we heard in court today that at least one of the women has come forward to confirm the authenticity of these emails. So it is not a smear campaign. Because he is such a man who is a strange relationship with the truth. When the truth is spoken, he sees it as smear campaign. Ramaphosa has been exposed. He must apologize, pay lobola and damages, and not run as the president of the country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Andile.